Hi and welcome to my channel. I want to start a little series of short videos where I will tell you about my most recent project, the whole story behind it, the wool I used, the number of stitches I cast on, and some other details. I hope those short videos will be inspiring for you. Firstly, let's talk about the yarn I have chosen for this project. I received a couple of balls of this yarn from Hobby, and this is their woody tweed, and it's 100% recycled fibers, 70% recycled wool and 30% recycled viscose, and the balls come in 100 grams with 350 meters, and recommended needles at 3.5. I choose this beautiful green color with light pink, yellow and white speckles in it. This is color number 12 in their palette. I went with 4 balls of this wool, and the original plan is to make a hat and a matching scarf, big long scarf with this wool, and will be my test knit from tweed wool. I have never worked with tweed wool before, so before I cast it on any big project as like a run jumper that I have on my list one day or anything like that, I want to try tweed wool on a smaller project, and I went with a hat and a scarf. But this video is not about scarf. This is how the ball looks. It comes in this big ball. It's actually very big. When I opened the package, I wasn't expecting it to be that big. I think it's the way they wind it off. It's just humongous looking, but I don't complain about it. So I needed a hat out of 100 grams. This is all I have. So you need less than 1 ball to make a proper hat. Let me show you the texture a bit closer. This is the texture of the wool. As you could see, it's lightly spun, so you have to keep this in mind when you knit, because if you're a tight knitter, you might break the yarn. It's very easy to break. I am the tight knitter. I knit very tightly, and especially when I cast on quite tightly. So when I was casting on my hat, I actually managed to break a little piece of yarn. I just left it a piece to show you how easy it breaks. So as you could see, I just put a little pressure and here it is. So keep that in mind when you're gonna knit anything, if you're gonna knit anything with that wool, because you cannot apply high pressure on it. It's gonna rip instantly, and yeah, so it's something to keep in mind. Now let me show you what I knitted. So the final result is this hat. It's a basic hat using by 2x2 ribbing with the rounded top, and it has a double fold. I don't wear hats without the fold in front. It just doesn't fit my face well, so I always need hats with a little fold, and the bigger it is, the better. Before I cast it on this hat, I had few little details that I want to make sure I have it before I even start. So one of them being is a cast on method, and I went for a basic long tail cast on method. However, I wanted to make sure that the right side of the cast on is facing me when the hat is worn like this, because usually the idea when you knit hats, you need a long tube and then you just close the top. However, that's what you would see usually when you fold the brim. However, I didn't like this side of the cast on. I like how the right side looks. I don't know, I just feel like it's more neat. So I wanted to make sure that I do any changes required to ensure that the right side of the cast on facing me when I bend the brim. The second detail I have is making sure that when I bend that the lines are continuous, so the knit stays over knit and purl stay over purl. But again, when you knit usually and bend, you could see that needs stay on one side and then they continues with pearls, and then where it was pearls you have needs. I don't like how it looks. I want it to be more consistent, and as you can see I have that. And now I just want to give you more details how I did that and any other information about the hat. I begin knitting this hat by casting on 124 stitches plus one additional stitch to join it in the round. I use the joining method that requires one additional stitch, but then you have absolutely no gaps in the area when the stitches was connected in the round. I will leave a link to my video where I show you how I do this just up here. Go check it out if you have never used this knitting method before to join the stitches, as it's almost invisible. I cast it on and then I knitted the required length of my brim and just few more centimeters. I went with like almost 2 centimeters of additional length, and then as you could see there is funny line over here. Let me show you closer. So this is where I swap my pearls with needs another way around. So now when I bend the brim, the needs stays over needs and pearls stay under pearls, so it follows the pattern as I want it. Another thing I had to do to ensure that the right side of the cast on faces me is after I knitted the length and just before the round where I start swapping around the needs and pearls, I did one short rows. I knitted one circle around, and then I flip over my work and start working other way around using the German short row method, so there is no gaps anywhere in the connections, as you could see. So I basically turn my work other way around and continue to knit. So at the end, when I bend the brim, things stay in the right place, in the right position. Then I continue just knitting straight the 2x2 rib from the place where I swapped them around till the top. When I knew that I have the good length of the hat and it's about time to close the top of the hat, I went with sharp decreases. In the first round I decreased one pearl in the round, so I knitted 2, I purl 2 together, I knitted 2, purl 2 together until the end of the round. Then the next round I just followed the pattern, so it was 1 purl to knits, 1 purl to knits till the end of the round. Then the third round I start decreasing my knits, so I did 1 purl, 2 together, 1 purl, knit 2 together, 1 purl, knit 2 together. And then the round number 4 I just followed the pattern, so it was 1 knit, 1 purl. And then in the next 3 rounds I start decreasing 2 together, 2 together, 2 together until the end, and then I just tie the stitches together, and that's how it looks. I'm really happy how the hat turns out, and I'm glad that I tried this yarn, and I think the scarf will be absolutely amazing because the wool is very soft. The wool opened up very well after the wash. The camera doesn't want to show you the real green color. It's like nice forestish green. It's make it way lighter than it actually is. But I think it's very soft and doesn't have any itchiness to it, so it will be great as a scarf, as a hat. One thing I have, a lot of hats tickle my forehead, so I start itching all the time, so I don't think this is not the case. So on top of that, I want to tell you that I have a 5% discount for this wool. If you use the code 𝒌𝒆5 in the Hobby Yarn website, you could get additional 5% off your order, and that combines together with any other discounts and bundles they have. So if you would like to use it, it's available till the 7th of December 2022. If you have any questions for me on this hat or this project or this wool, feel free to comment below and I give you any additional tips or methods I used. And I hope you enjoyed that little series, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!